What you're about to watch is one of the most historically significant and disturbing speeches of the 20th century. This video exists for one reason: education. Understanding how fascism rose, how hatred was weaponized through rhetoric, and what the world failed to stop in time. January 30th, 1939. 6 years after Adolf Hitler was appointed Chancellor of Germany, he stood before the Reichstag, the German parliament, and delivered a speech that historians now regard as one of the clearest public warnings of what was coming. The date was not random. It marked the 6th anniversary of the Nazi seizure of power. And the content of this speech was not merely political posturing. It contained an explicit, on-record threat against the Jewish people of Europe. A threat that, within 6 years, became the Holocaust. This footage has been fully colorized, a process that took considerable time and care, with the goal of collapsing the distance between then and now. Black and white film allows us to keep history at arm's length. Color does not. To understand the weight of this moment, here's where Europe stood in early 1939. Hitler had already annexed Austria and occupied the Sudetenland. The Nuremberg laws had stripped Jewish Germans of their citizenship. Kristallnacht, the Night of Broken Glass, had occurred just 2 months prior, when Nazi mobs destroyed thousands of Jewish businesses and synagogues across Germany and Austria. The world largely looked away. In this speech, Hitler would go further than he ever had publicly, stating openly that if war came to Europe, it would result in the annihilation of the Jewish race in Europe. Historians and prosecutors at Nuremberg later cited this speech as evidence of premeditated genocidal intent. This is not propaganda being amplified. This is a primary source document, the kind studied in universities, cited in war crimes tribunals, and preserved so that it is never forgotten. Watch not just what is said, but the crowd, the setting, the performance of power. Fascism is not just an ideology, it is a theater, and understanding how it works is how we recognize it. What you just watched was delivered to a captive, cheering audience, many of whom would go on to carry out the policies Hitler described. Some in that room knew exactly what his words meant, others chose not to. The Holocaust did not begin with gas chambers. It began with speeches like this one, normalized, applauded, broadcast on radio across a nation. The colorization of this footage is not glamorization. It is a reminder that these were real people, in a real moment, making real choices, and that the consequences were real too. History doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. Know the words.
Die Völker werden in kurzer Zeit erkennen, dass das nationalsozialistische Deutschland keine Feindschaft mit anderen Völkern will. Ich will heute wieder ein Prophet sein. Wenn es dem internationalen Finanzjudentum in und außerhalb Europas gelingen sollte, die Völker noch einmal in einen Weltkrieg zu stürzen, dann wird das Ergebnis nicht die Bolschewisierung der Erde und damit der Sieg des Judentums sein, sondern die Vernichtung der jüdischen Rasse in Europa. Die Völker wollen nicht mehr auf den Schlachtfeldern sterben, damit diese wurzellose internationale Rasse an den Geschäften des Krieges verdient und ihre alttestamentarische Ratio befriedigt. Über der jüdischen Parole, Proletarier aller Länder, vereinigt euch, wird eine höhere Erkenntnis ziehen, nämlich schaffende Angehörige aller Nationen, erkennt euren gemeinsamen Feind.